What's up, guys? Let's get some messages. So there is a woman. She is a profession. This person is, we're gonna look into this person's energy and the intentions of this person, the profession that they're in. Let's just get some clarity. Most High God, I need you to tap into this woman. She's an Asian woman. Let's tap into her. Let's tap into the energy. Definitely working with people. It's a person who's supposed to heal people. And could be connected to someone. Let's see. Give me energy of this woman. Ancestors, give me energy of this woman. And then I have a dream that I'm going to do. Give me energy of this woman. So this is a woman. She's an Asian woman. This is a woman who works with people. She has a masculine type of interior confirmation. What else, ancestors? Tell me about this woman. Definitely in the field of taking care of someone. I'm seeing here that this woman, let me see, tell me about this lady. So this woman who is Asian, she is going through some issues when it comes to her life. I feel like she is someone who has been silenced, someone who has been not doing well mentally. This is a person who could not be at her best. She lies and has caused pain for others. This is a Asian woman who's under harsh judgment. I'm getting a nurse. An Asian woman who's a nurse. Ace of Pentacles energy. Give me more information. So yeah, this is a woman who's under judgment. And I feel like this woman could be in this space where she is why is the star card here, ancestors? Maybe she knows you. Maybe she knows you. But with the Judgment card here in the reversal, this is a person who's she's under harsh judgment. She lies. She's a liar. And with the Judgment in reverse is a person who is at a point in their life where they may be someone of high status, but this is a person who's lacking self-awareness. This is a person who's lacking integrity. This is a person who's on a karmic wheel, who has a lot of issues when it comes to her being a karmic. Definitely getting karmic energy. Yeah, Spirit is saying I'm right. So give me more information about this nurse, this Asian nurse. So this is a woman who needs validation from others. Definitely need validation from others. And with the Lovers card, this is a choice that she chooses. With 9 of Cups, let's see, got the Queen of Cups energy here. Queen of Cups with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a woman who has built her life on something that is rocky. So this is a person who lacks empathy. She could be in a field where she's supposed to give or be loving, but what I'm seeing here is someone who's very manipulative, someone who's very hateful, someone whose true motives are not really being seen. This is a person who masters their healing energy in something that is very manipulative, you know, and she's coursed on by others that really are really not good, you know. So with the Sun card, this is bringing truth to light. The Hierophant is someone who's needing to seek instruction when it comes to how they are not only being perceived in life, but what they're doing when it comes to what they're doing tangibly when it comes to life. And you know, it's like this is a person who's not thinking about what she does. She's just doing it. You know, there are a lot of people who think that they can get away with things because they could be a part of something, you know, they could be a part of an institution. And this is like something that's been done routinely for a long time. However, under the guise of what this woman is under, this Asian woman is under, she is not a good person. You know, with the Three of Swords, you know, this is a person who's lacking humiliation. This is a person who lacks self-control as well, and is needing to find herself. So this is a person who lays hands on people, who touches people, who gives people medicine, and really is not a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when it comes to the health institution, and when it comes to people who are in the field of nursing, who take care of people, you know, the issue is like there are people who feel because they've been in fields for so long, and they know the practice like the back of their hand. You know, they use it as a robotic type of I can't explain it. It's like someone who like works at a position and they've gotten comfortable there, and it's to the point where there is what is it it's come to a point where there is someone who's become desensitized to other people's feelings, other people's emotions. You know, it's like things are a game. You know, everything is a game. But what I'm seeing here is that justice is going to be hitting in for this woman in particular. And as much as this person may not want to receive the message, it's definitely gonna hit hard for this person, because this person is gonna be on a karmic wheel, already on a karmic wheel, and refusing to do the right thing. Especially with the Judgment card being here, this is a person who's gonna have to going to be under judgment for a while, you know. And you know, I don't care how much money you have, who you're connected to, who you're getting advice from, who you're under the wings under, whatever this involves. You know, you can only do people wrong for so long. You can only mock people for so long. You know, people think it's a joke, but honestly, what I'm seeing here is this person is stuck to a demonic entity. Don't even recognize it. You know, no one cares about your culture. No one cares about, you know, your money. No one cares about nothing, none of that shit. When you have a position that is to take care and assist others in healing, I don't care how long you've been in that position. I don't care how long you've been doing it. You don't sit there doing your job recklessly. Be careful of who you're mocking. Be careful of who you're playing games with, because honestly, the shit ain't funny. Things aren't going to be looking good for you in the future. And with that, you know, with the Judgment card, the Devil card, and the Nine of Swords, it's definitely someone's going through a harsh cycle. And it don't matter about your money, baby. This is deeper. Seven of Swords energy. God has been watching you. You've been really conniving, very sneaky. You've been doing things underhanded, under the table. Definitely being, so I just heard the word soliciting information, soliciting, whatever this is, you've been watched the whole time. And, you know, honestly, God is tired of your ass. And with that, what God is saying is thank you for completing the cycle successfully, because there is definitely choices that are going to be made when it comes to the spiritual realm. See, the thing is, people think that they can get away with they think they can get away with things, think that things are hidden. But at the end of the day, with the 7 of Wands here, this is telling me that you're in a very challenging point, or there will be challenges that will be happening for you, where there's going to be the choices that you're going to be making, and it's going to lead you in a very saddened feeling, disappointment, setbacks. 5 of Pentacles is someone who's not going to be feeling fulfilled, because you're not going to have your mind. You're going to be feeling guilty, ashamed of yourself. You're going to be feeling left out in the cold, because even though you laugh with friends, you kiki with people, thinking that, what you were doing was funny, at the end of the day, you're under judgment, heavy judgment, and anyone that you were coursed by, you guys will be, in jail. Now, if this is not physical jail, I'm more so getting spiritual jail. Okay. So, this is more spiritual than physical. And, the thing is, while you're sitting here mocking or trying to, hurt others, trying to gain clout or laugh at others' pain, I'm just seeing here that it never worked out for you from the beginning. Whatever energy you put out is what you will get back, and it's not funny. It's not funny at all how certain people mock you and try to cause issues for you with their behavior. The thing is, you're not getting away with it, okay? So with that said, this is going to be a very slow process for you, where there's going to be a lot of issues happening to you in the end. 10 of Swords energy is not good. You should be scared about that, baby, because what you put out is what you're giving back. This is what it's giving. Never feel as if you're exempt from being in the same pain that someone else was in, that you mocked. Never think that whatever someone else had gone through, you could never go through. Never think that you can never be laughed at or disregarded or disrespected because of who you are. I feel like there are people who feel as if they become so high above because of their status, their degree, their profession, whatever it is. Like, you disregard people because of your title, your role. But that's all catching up with you. It's going to be a huge burden for you, nurse. I don't know, this Asian woman, but definitely going to be learning some things, definitely going through tower moments in the future, where the thing is, you never know who you are dealing with. You never know who you're messing with. And while you're getting sent to do other people's dirty work or mocking other people, you think the shit is funny, that shit will fall on you. And the people who are involved and that cause you to be involved in something that you should have asked more questions about will also be going through tower moments. There will be judgment, and it's just not funny. So with that said, be careful about who you are coming for. Be careful about who you're mocking, because the issue is, it never was funny in the first place. And so I just see here, there will be justice with the Justice card here. With the 3 of Swords here, definitely deep pain. I'm even seeing health issues with you, so you wanting to mock someone, definitely someone who's divine, definitely someone who's of the truth, or people in general, it will catch up with you. It will catch up with you. And everything that you thought you had, really you never had it, because even though you may have went to school to get your degree, the degree you got is currently being used unprofessionally. You're unprofessional. You're very unprofessional. You're very mean-spirited. You're very hurtful. You're very, you just... You're effed up along with the rest of them. Confirmation. And as much as you may want to disregard this message for foolishness, you're foolish. You're a foolish Chinese woman and or Asian. You know, I don't know, like if you're Asian, Korean, whatever race you are foolish. You are a foolish woman, and because you picked on someone who didn't pick on you, I'm seeing here that there is a will that you're currently going to be going through. Be prepared. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, because you know, baby, there's healing that you need to do. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're in a field, you're in a profession. Use your profession to actually do God's work. You know, God has given you or blessed you with a degree to assist others in healing. Do your job. You know, don't be there acting as if you are better than God, as if you are higher than God, because you have some sort of position that gives you some sort of control over someone who's vulnerable. You know, someone who comes to the hospital to get assistance, to get help. You should be a blessing to them. You should, you know, it doesn't matter what they're there for. It's not a joke. You know, when someone's sick, do your job. Take care, you know, do your job. Because remember, there's always, every dog has its day. Every dog has its day. And one day it may be your day. You know, I remember I used to work in a hospital, and there was a nurse who actually passed away in the hospital. She just, you know, fell out and was in the ICU for a few weeks or so, ended up passing away. You know, I don't know this person's you know, I don't know how they treated other patients. I don't know how they, you know, treated others. I don't know what they did. But let's just pray that, you know, with the care that you would want for yourself, if you were in that predicament, if your family was in that predicament, let's pray that you will, you know, that the way you want to be treated, that they'll also treat your family member that way. Or let's just say if something were to ever happen to you or your loved one, let's hope that you won't give out the treatment that you possibly been giving out to others. Because what I'm seeing here is like you're not really being a good nurse. You're very deceitful. You're very sneaky. You're underhanded. You're soliciting information that you're not supposed to be soliciting, and you're under judgment. You're not a good person, and you're not going to have no luck. I promise that. I promise you on that. So another thing is, I worked in a nursing home, and there was a lady in her 60s. Now, 60 to me, that's young. She was in the nursing home, and she told me she was a nurse. She said she was a nurse 2 years ago. That's not long ago. Okay? So with that said, her being in a nursing home, and her family actually put her in a nursing home, she was not bad. You know, she had her mind, but for a family to put you in a nursing home and you took care of your family for a long time, you made good money, and your family just sits here and puts you in a nursing home, and you were a nurse. I want to know, like, the track record of people who have been, you know, in the care, in the nursing business, who have been in the, you know, caring facility where they're caring for others. Like, is that karma for you, where you now end up in a nursing facility after hurting others, after neglecting other patients, after treating others how you would never want someone to treat you? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what the rule is, what the law is. The issue is there are people who are breaking laws, people who are being underhanded, people who are not being righteous when it comes to their job, when it comes to their professions. They never think that the shit will backfire. They never feel as if whatever they put out in the world will go back to them. That's the issue. People really feel as if they're invincible. They really feel as if they can walk over others and not have absolutely nothing happen to them. You know, these people actually feel as if they are God and as if, oh, I'm God. You know, I actually had a friend who really felt as if they were God. I want to know who they calling on now that they going through all that damn karma. I want to know, do they feel like they God now? You know what I'm saying? What's your role now? What's your title? What's your belief system? What do you believe in? You know? Because even if it's Buddha or whatever it is, do you really think Buddha riding for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it twisted. That's the issue. You got it twisted. You sit here, you think you can do anything you want to people, and then when it's your turn, you just, you know what I'm saying? You feel as if people should treat you away because you've been in the health profession for years. But you forgot how you treated Sister Betty and Sister Aisha, Sister, Yin Yin, or, Yang Yang. You know what I'm saying? You forget how you treated them people. It will come back to you. No matter how much you think you are above the law, how much you feel as if you could do whatever you want. You walk in here thinking because you got a title and because you in charge of this. Yeah. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. The issue is that there are many people who are wearing a crown that don't even belong to them. You're in a field and you're in a profession that you should not be in because you're not worthy of a profession, because the way you have undermined people, treated people, spoken negatively about people, underhandedly done people, like you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you're not a chosen being. You're not someone who and not chosen. You're not on a road to like being on the straight and narrow. Like you're wobbly, you're messy, you're sloppy, you are horrible. You a horrible person. You a horrible nurse. You a horrible doctor. Whatever you want to call yourself, you horrible. You a horrible mail carrier. You think that because of what you do, you getting paid under the table, whatever status you have, like, you think that you're going to get away with it. And what I'm saying, it may sound funny. It may like not even like, it's like a whatever. Like, I don't gotta listen to you. Yeah, you don't have to listen to me, but listen here. I've watched people go through so much karma, and it don't make no sense, because actually we could all be happy and free, but people decide to choose their life. They decide to choose their path, and the path that you're choosing, you're under judgment. You're definitely under judgment, okay? So with that said, be careful of the things that you're doing, because it don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your role. No one cares about you having a damn degree or no damn title as a doctor, nurse, or I'm the CEO, and I got 1 trillion followers, and no one gives because I'm thinking like, oh you do. So what's your character like? What's your character? You the president of the United States. What is your character? Do you deserve to have that position? Are you going to do the ones who are vulnerable and need assistance or need help? Are you going to protect those who are in need? Or are you going to use your role to bash us in the head even more? To the white meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, I don't give a care about your money, what you have power over, because the issue is there's a lot of people who have power and they don't even deserve half of the power that they have. You're not qualified. You're not qualified for that role. You're not qualified to be a nurse. You're not qualified to be a doctor. I don't care how many books you read, how much school you went to. I don't care. You don't deserve to be a nurse. You know you don't. You know what you've done. You don't deserve to be over people's mail. You know what you've done to people's mail. You know you stolen. You know you got paid under the table. You sit here, you want to be mad. No one gives a, you know what I'm saying? Because you're evil. You're demonic. You're hateful. And honestly, you're giving people, you're in the wrong field. You know what I'm saying? You're in the wrong field. You need to be in the field where you're not working with nobody. Like, you don't deserve to work with nobody. Like, you need to, like, have a business where people can choose to, like, do I want to buy a product from you or something? Because for you to be for you to be a nurse or in lead of anything that gives you power over whatever someone has, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're unrighteous. You're horrible. You're a horrible person. And you know that shit. You know what I'm saying? Chinese woman following me in the store yesterday, thinking the shit was funny. I don't know what your purpose is in this life. I don't know what you do in this life to give. I don't know what road or path you're going on when it comes to, you know, how you're doing things in your life. You know, I know a lot of you guys, confirmation, you're about your money. You know, you care about the dividends. Like, y'all, you know, I understand that. No judgment is no judgment for that. But also, don't forget people. Don't forget to care about people, because people are important too. You know, we're here. We're here. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, you know, I know everyone ain't about to be kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never, I don't feel it will ever get that way, because there's too many people with mental health issues. There are too many people who are very selfish out here. But you got a problem, woman. You got a huge problem. The way you were following me in the store, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. There will be justice, because you don't know who you're effing with. You know, you effing with the wrong one. I'm not the one to play with. I'm not a toy. I'm not someone that you can taunt. Like, I don't know what your problem was following me in the grocery store yesterday, but you're sickly to even play with me like that. You out of line, Chinese lady. Okay, RN? I don't give a care who you are, who sent you. Who sent you? You know what I'm saying? Get the hell on with your toxic ass. You're toxic, you're nasty, you're evil, you're demonic, you're low vibrational, and you are someone who solicits people's information. You've lied a lot in the health industry. You're not a righteous person. And you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you done lost all your mind. Anyway, with that said, have a good day. You know, everyone, you know, we need to start making better decisions when it comes to how we're treating others, because it just doesn't make any sense. People who are in these high professions who have control over vulnerable people, people who are sick, people who are going through a lot when it comes to their health issues. You know, it's not a joke. It's not a joke anymore. You know what I'm saying? Never was. Confirmation. So we have Psalms 19:32 and 19:88. All right, so it says, God, once you open my heart, I will run with full passion in your direction. It's about spiritual freedom, obedience, and transformation. Enlarge my heart means to make me more capable of love, strength, and understanding, so that I can fully live out my purpose. This verse is about power. This verse is powerful for those who are walking in the path of righteousness. You're asking God to expand your heart and capacity so you can fulfill your divine assignment. You're ready to run, not walk. So quicken me after thy loving kindness. So shall I keep the testimony of my mouth. Quicken me, revive me, give me new life, restore me. The writer is saying, God, breathe life into me again through your love, so I can continue walking in my truth. Okay, this is a person who's needing to find their truth. So this verse speaks directly to the exhausted ones, the ones you've been drained. So the ones who've been drained, betrayed, worn out by spiritual warfare or karmic people. It's a prayer for divine renewal. So it's saying, I'm ready to step fully into my purpose. God, just just give me the strength and capacity. And it says, revive me from the spiritual fatigue. The battle has been long, but I still want to live in truth. And this is for the ones who are walking in a righteous pathway. Okay, so another scripture from 119:32 is, I will run the way of the commandments when thou shalt enlarge my heart. Psalms 119:88 is, quicken me after thy loving kindness, so shall I keep the testimony of my mouth. All right, so God is asking that you live in truth, walk in integrity, being revived and strengthened by divine love, asking God to cleanse. You need to ask God to cleanse your heart and guide your path. So if this applies to this particular nurse, who is someone who's, anyway, it says this Chinese nurse, I think she was either Chinese or Asian or Korean, I'm not sure, but the nurse who was following me around, a nurse role is sacred. They care for the sick, support the vulnerable, and are often present present a life and death threshold. To abuse that role through gossip, manipulation, cruelty, jealousy, or deception is a direct betrayal of divine trust. So Psalms 119:32, it says, I will run the way of your commandments. So this is what God expects from someone in a high trust role, like nursing, to walk swiftly and joyfully in truth, not just pretend to. But if a nurse is underhanded, this verse becomes a judgment, not just a prayer. So God is saying, I gave you a role to help others, but instead you're running your own path, not mine. So instead of running the way of God's commandments, that person is running from accountability. So this is a plea for revival, but revival only comes when the heart is humble. So if a nurse is mistreating others while quoting scriptures or appearing spiritual, this verse reveals they're spiritually dead inside, even if they look calm or kind on the outside, which is what I was explaining. God is offering mercy, but it's conditional on repentance. So in other words, you want my loving kindness, but you've shown none to others. You want to live, but you've drained life from those around you. You cannot expect revival while planting poison. Divine warning for underhanded nurses. These verses become indictments, sorry, when held up to those misusing this sacred position. So God is saying, you trusted to heal, and instead you chose harm. You could have run the path of light, but you chose the shadow. Revival, honor, and blessings are available, but not while your heart remains unclean. This person is unclean, definitely unclean, unworthy of their position. They have a lot of work to do. They're at the bottom of the barrel. This is a person who will never they're going to be under judgment, and as much as they're getting egged on by their gossipy friends or people that they could be connected to, these people are leading this person straight to hell, straight into judgment, straight into a poverty, spiritual jail. Now, you might not get caught physically, you may not go to jail physically, but this is a huge issue for you, especially playing around with divine beings, people who you actually, this is the truth. You're under judgment. Spirit is telling you to choose the right path. So if you're okay. Anyway, with that said, that's all I really got to say. It's really nothing You know, it's just like a shame on you type of thing. Shame on you. You have a horrible character. You're a horrible person. You have a horrible character and a horrible way of living. You know, people who with your type of religion, I don't know what it is, but some people who are in your specific religion, you really think you're better than somebody. You know, the way some of you guys act is it's like a self entitled type of energy. And I've seen it, you know, and it's not like I'm trying to be mean. You know, we all belong to something, but when you're dealing with a community and you're in and out, you're being misleading and to vulnerable people who are in need of healing, you know, and you're bringing chaos where it should be calmness, and you're picking on people, you're not bringing the light. There will be justice that will be happening, you know. Spirit is asking that you be a thinker, that you think of, you know, like being a better person for the most part. Definitely learn to be a better person. Also observing, you know, when someone is leading a grown person out to do certain things, is this truly what God is asking you to do? Like, is God asking you to go out and pick on people, you know, finding it funny to like taunt people, whatever you're doing or whatever you were doing that day, you know, that is, I'm definitely going to like, you know, it's not going to be an end of it. You know what I'm saying? So just for me to like protect and take care of myself, I'm definitely going to do my end of the work, where I'm going to reverse all negative energy, all negative actions that you caused me. You went out of your way. You jumped in your car, came to the stove, wore your nursing badge outside of your pants, on your pants so I could see it, and pretty much like taunted me or whatever you were doing. You know, you're misguided. Something's wrong with you, Chinese lady. I don't know what it is, but you know, that's your issue. You're in a Ten of Swords energy. It don't look good for you, okay? Because at the end of the day, I was minding my own business. What Spirit is saying is you're a fool. You're a fool. You look foolish. You look real foolish, okay? And as you look real foolish, I just looked at you. Looked at you as someone who's crazy. Like, you know, you're very weird acting. And you know, you're no good. You're no good. And you don't deserve to be walking around with no nursing badge on. I really hope that someone let you borrow that badge, because honestly, you don't need it. You don't need it. You're not qualified for the position. Anyway, with that said, I hope this message has helped you to know where you're at in your life and where you're going to be headed. All right? There is a transformation that's happening, a death. And it could be a death to the experiences that you've been giving people. Hopefully this will teach you. Look, we got you know, connecting back to your power. Hopefully this will assist you, because, you know, I feel like a lot of people are in the midst of like causing you to be disconnected. Baby, don't come for me unless I send for you. I didn't send for you. I'm not walking out of I would never get out of my bed to, you know, I don't care about you. I really don't. I don't got nothing for you. I don't have the energy to go out there and follow you around, because I can care two shits about you. This is how important you may think I am. But honestly, I can give two shits about you. Anyway, have a blessed day.